What's up, everybody? It's DH Thorne here. I wanted to do another video in my Demon in Review series. This one's going to be about King Paimon. King Paimon is one of the great kings of the Guatia. He is a very important demon for a lot of people because a lot of people recommend starting with him as he's one of the most easygoing demons of the entire Goetic pantheon. Now, King Paimon, there's videos all over about him because he's one of the ones that everybody starts on, and because he was in the movie Hereditary, a lot of people are interested in him, so I probably will be getting some views for this video. Um, King Paimon was a demon that I wasn't really that interested in working with, except that he had some areas of influence that appealed to me. Part of it is because when I work with any entity, I have to really be into the imagery of the entity before, the imagery and the feeling and the vibe of the entity for me to engage with them. And to me, the image of a king on a camel, kind of wasn't what I was into. And this was kind of an unfair, way of approaching this. I realize that. But it was like if I want to channel something, I want to really feel like this is something that is going to respond to me and that I'm going to respond to. But as time went on, I got more and more like, I really want to work with this entity. I really want to interact with it and get a channeling going. So I'm going to kind of stuff all those misgivings. I'm going to work with him. And I was definitely getting the impression that he was saying, come to me, come, I want to talk to you, that kind of thing. And so I started studying him more and more. And I was at my job one day, and I work in a tree and shrub nursery. And I was working outside, and I kind of got a few moments alone, about a half hour alone, to do a job where I was moving some trees around. And I was listening to some kind of mellow music, and that kind of ended, and I was like, I don't feel like putting on more music. Let me just start singing to myself. And I started singing his N, and I started singing his name, under, in a low tone so people weren't going to hear me too much. And I started just kind of intoning his name over and over and getting the use of the voice. I was trying to memorize his N and all that stuff for a later. I was gonna do my first conjuration of him in the morning the next day, so I wanted to get it memorized, which isn't hard. It's only a few words. And so as I'm doing this, I'm starting to get this weird feeling, and I'm getting like these questions asked of me. And I didn't know much about King Paimon at this point, except just his imagery, what he's good at, and things like that. And I just started answering the questions in my own mind. Why do you want to contact King Paimon? Well, this, that. I want some help getting better at my occult presence online, things like that. I want to be more respected for what I know, and I would like to get my books written, and I'd like my blog to do well, and these kind of things. I was answering him honestly, and it just started coming more and more, and I started feeling this presence coming over me, and I'm staring into the sun, and I'm feeling like I can see this entourage of like jugglers and deformed people and normal people and all these people coming, followed by, King Paimon on a camel. And I hear this booming voice in my head say, King Paimon, motherfucker, can you dig it? Something like that. It was like the most ridiculous thing ever. But it was like, this was legit. Like, this was, like, he's got a sense of humor, this thing. And that's the first time I'm going to tell you, he's a jovial entity. He is like, he's not like, I'm a demon, you must do what I tell you. He's very, like, he's your buddy. If he likes you, he's your buddy. And he shows up, and in my visual thing, it's kind of like I'm seeing him walking through the trees, like where I work, through the aisle there, and like I just start talking to him back and forth, and I said, this thing you just told me about, King Paimon, motherfucker, can you, do you speak it or something like that? I'm like, were you talking about like Samuel Jackson? Does he work with you or something? And he's like, Google it, you never know, I don't know what he was trying to tell me. I think he was just joking with me. I did Google it, by the way. I couldn't find anything. But so following this, as I'm talking to him, I get this sense of rapture that was, not common for me. And it was a kind of cathartic release of crying. It was this, oh, it's so wonderful. Oh, he's such an awesome demon. It was really powerful. I mean, I was like stumbling around, tears were running down my face at work. I'm a big, strong guy moving these trees around. Tears running down my face, like looking like a complete, like, wish-wash. And so here I am, totally lost it. I had to go sneak off to the side and finish it out. I had to finish because I couldn't walk. I mean, I was stumbling. And when it was finally over, I was like, well, I guess I have to contact them tomorrow. But then it occurred to me, like, well, you kind of already did. So the next night actually, I put it off till after dark so that I could be private. And I did a conjuration of him. And this time it was much more reserved. I did not get a very strong response. And it's partially, I think, because it was nighttime, and he's supposed to be a day entity who's stronger during the day. But I used a combination of normal invocation, conjuration, whatever you want to call it, with a sigil and all that, and candle scrying. And as I'm scrying into the candle, I'm seeing, because if you stare into a candle, sometimes it'll split off into multiple parts. If you ever look at a candle and you scry a little bit, you can actually see energy waves coming off a candle if you scry into a candle. It's pretty impressive. So I'm doing this, and I'm starting to see the energy waves, and I'm getting connected, my third eye's connecting to this candle flame, and I'm seeing this again, this time it was more silhouettes of, like, people marching through the flame or through a desert or something, coming slightly towards me. And I didn't have a strong communication. We didn't have a word-for-word conversation at this time. Instead, it was more or less just, I told him what I wanted, what I hoped for, and I offered him some soda, and we were communing. I knew we were communing. I knew we were communicating. I told him, he was asking me questions again, and I was asking him, but it wasn't as powerful. This was just kind of like, he probably wants to know why I want to do this and that, and I had found out through later research that he asks a lot of questions of you, at least as many as you ask of him, because he's very curious and he wants to know things. And if you're smart, he's gonna want you to explain what you believe to him. Trust me. It's like he's trying to learn from you as much as he's going to teach you. And he is a collector of art and knowledge and things like this, so this doesn't surprise me one bit. And I got this feeling like I was dealing with an entity that was, if you ever see the movie Circle of Iron, or they call it the Silent Flute is the other name for it, it's an old David Carradine kung fu movie, look it up. Watch through the whole movie, but there's a part with this guy named Chang Sha or something like that. He's the leader of this nomadic group in the desert, and he's a lot like him, knowledgeable, wise, powerful, jovial. He's a lot like that, but a younger kid. Like, he's not like an old man. He's more like a middle-aged young person, little feminine features, but strong. Like, he's not, it's hard to explain, but he's not, his gender is clearly masculine, but it's like metro masculine, you know what I mean? It's not like, I'm a dude, it's like, I'm a guy, so he's very good like that. He's very jovial, very friendly, but he demands respect. I was very careful. Occasionally I slipped, but I was very careful to intentionally call him King Paimon as often as I could remember to do it. He does have a sense of pride about him. Don't insult him, and if you do, be very careful that he knows that you're not doing it to insult him. Like, if you say something as a joke, make sure you're clear, even though he knows, but make sure you're not being a jerk to him. He doesn't like that. He's very proud of his status as a king demon. So be very careful with that. But he's not like haughty and in your face, I'm better than you. It's more like, imagine visiting a prince, and you're a prince, and he's going to expect you to give him the respect he's giving you in return. He's very formal, I guess is the way to think of it. Very formal in a sense. He wants a very formal response from you. So, and I've worked with him several times after that. I have his sigil open all the time on my altar right now because he's helping me with things currently. But at some point I'll probably be making an offering and dismissing him for a little while so that I can focus on other energies. But I highly recommend this entity. Probably, if you're starting in the Goetic, he should be number 1 or number 2 that you should contact first. He really should be up there. Don't skip him. Even if you think his imagery is a little strange, don't skip him. He's also nothing like the movie Hereditary. That movie, I'm going to tell you right now, that movie's disturbing as all hell. And this is coming from someone who likes horror. That movie stuck with me because it had a very, bunch of disturbing imagery. And not because it was just, it's hard to explain. I can see blood and gore, it doesn't bother me. This wasn't just blood and gore. This was just they did a magnificent job of getting you, like, the acting was magnificent. And they did a magnificent job of getting you into, like, just knowing this family, and when things start happening, you don't care about them, but you can't help but feel like this is a little too close to home somehow. It's something about it. But the demon Paimon is nothing like, the real King Paimon. The demon that they're working with is just some horrible monster, really. That I don't give away the plot, but this is nothing like the reality at all. I wouldn't even say it's close. So you're going to get a lot of people who are coming to watch this video who are looking to work with King Paimon. I'm telling you right now, he's nothing like this. And if you're going into this looking for a monster that's going to, you're going to be doing whatever with, you're going to be, I guess you'll be disappointed. I'd be kind of relieved. But anyway, King Paimon, check him out. Do work with him. And let me know in the comments how it goes.